All right, well, this is the link you guys all wanted for some reason, so here it is. Liam Delap is now linked with Forest. Welcome to your transfer news. Good morning, good evening, or good night. Hope you guys are doing well, and welcome to your latest Forest news. Coming up, we'll tell you about, I keep wanting to call him Rory Delap. It's his son, Liam Delap, and the links to Nottingham Forest. Also, congratulations to the Forest B team winning some more silverware. We got to see armpits. That's the B team now, the women's team, and hopefully the men's team, senior team, will get Champions League. But before we get into the video, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you've subscribed as well if you are new. Let's jump into this. Look, before I jump into it, I get why you guys are all interested. And when I say you guys, obviously I'm not talking about everyone, but every time we've done a video about a potential striker link, in the comments it's just filled up with, what about Liam Delap? What about Liam Delap? 12 goals this season, 30 million release clause. Are we interested? Are we interested? Well, apparently there are reports now to say, yes, we are. So now what I will say is, I don't really like the source of this one at all. So, but you guys, I know you guys like a good transfer, bit of gossip and rumors. So here it is. So this report is saying Forest have joined the race to sign exit-bound Ipswich Town star Liam Delap. This is coming from Football Insider, hence why I don't really like it. 22-year-old has a relegation clause in his Ipswich contract believed to be worth £30 million. I think that's the world's worst-kept secret, and is expected to make an instant return to the Premier League. Delap scored 12 goals and provided 2 assists across 34 Premier League games so far this season, despite the side's struggles. Everton and Manchester United are amongst the clubs who have been keeping close eyes on the former Man City striker with a potential swoop in mind. Now, Forest have registered their interest in a deal as they seek cover and competition for their star striker Cristiano Ronaldo ahead of the summer window. Okay. So that's basically it, right? And then there's some gumph and kind of padding out of the story. All right, let me talk to you about this. Firstly, I don't know if I believe it for a start. Look, if you believe most of the legit reports, Liam Delap is going to make his way most likely to Manchester United. They're leading the race. Now, everyone knows about this 30 million release clause, but what people forget is that Manchester City, who he was part of their academy of, have a buyback or first refusal option on him, and I believe it's for less. I think it's like 25 million pounds. So they get to have the first say on this. Now, do I expect Manchester City to go in for him? No, not really. They've just brought Marmoush. Haaland's nearly back fit. I think they're okay when it comes to the striker position. And would Liam Delap want to go back there anyway, having looked at himself this season, scoring 12 goals in a relegated team? Not a bad return from him. So I don't expect he would want to go there. Could he end up at Manchester United? Well, that would be a slight step up from Ipswich, a couple of places higher in the table. But somewhere like Forest would probably suit him the most because, one, he would get guaranteed European football, if not Champions League football. And secondly, he's of that age, 22 years old, where this is the part I like about him. I think Chris Wood, we're probably going to get another 6 months, maybe a year out of him before you expect, old Mother Nature to catch up with everything. And I've said we've needed this profile striker to come in who can take over the reins, learn from Chris Wood and step into his shoes. But I still do feel we need another striker in between those two profiles as well. Now, this is going a bit to Liam Delap's head. There are a lot of reports suggesting that obviously he wants to move from Ipswich because he wants Premier League football. But the talks are that he wants to demand 140k a week for his services. That's what he wants salary-wise. That is one hell of a big jump. That's more than Wadinho is on. That's more than I think Milenkovic is on. That would make him probably one of the highest, if not the highest paid player currently in the Forest squad. Now, how true those reports are, I don't know, but I think there is some truth in it because the list of registered interests, and the way they make it sound, by the way, it's like you call up, you book your slot in, with Delap's agent. I'd like to register my interest in signing your client. There's a long list. I mentioned Man United. We've talked about Man City. Although they're not linked, they technically are. You got Everton, you got Arsenal, who would like him as a secondary option behind maybe, say, a Gyökeres if they get him. Everton, Newcastle are linked with him. I think Fulham have been touted with him. But West Ham, basically pretty much most of the Premier League is going to have a sniff around Delap. But I think Forest could be in a good position if these rumours are true. And I still stand by the fact I don't really believe them. Look, would Forest look at him? Yes, definitely. £30 million is quite cheap for a striker. But would I make Forest favourites on this one? Not quite, not quite. I think the wage demands are a bit silly if they're true at 140k. Now, do I like him? I don't know is the answer. Look, there's been too many times over the years watching the Premier League where I've seen a striker coming up from a championship team that gets relegated, that has a hot season, and then just flops, right? Mutu springs to mind. Where was he at? Swansea or something? James Beattie at Southampton back in those days. Players like that. But it's not a massive risk at 30 million. This is the key bit here. Yeah, how much did we pay for Taiwo? Just under 20, like 17.5 million. He wasn't Prem proven, and look what we kind of ended up with now, a guy who can't even connect with the ball. I could see a scenario where Taiwo gets moved on in the summer. This young profile comes in, but I still think we need someone in the middle. Someone who could, if Chris Wood, say, God forbid, got injured, would be ready to step straight in. The one thing I'll say about Delap, the bit I do like about him is I think he would work well, and I hate doing this phrase because we've done it so often, in a Nuno system. Because Ipswich were not a heavily based possession team in the Premier League. A lot of Delap's goals would have been on the counter-attack, would have been on some quick breaks. I think he has pace, I think he has power, and I think he has a good finish. I just don't know if he's going to be consistent enough. Now, if you put him into a better team than Ipswich, aka Forest, then you could see more chances being created with Elanga on the wing, or Yilmaz maybe, who's still heavily linked with Forest. Then you could see these chances being created. So maybe he doesn't need to be as clinical, because he may, instead of getting 2 chances a match, may end up with 4 or 5 at Forest. So look, I'm kind of trying to talk myself into it, but I know you guys are heavily excited by him. And a lot of you, I think, would take him. So let me know in the comments down below. Would you be interested in Delap to Forest? But that's the story on him at the moment. If you believe this report, again, which I don't, Delap has now been shortlisted by Forest. The release clause is £30 million. The rumoured fee on the weekly wage is 140k. Do you think he's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's your news on Liam Delap. Get your thoughts in. As always, double check you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new here as well. I can't wait to read your comments on this one. I really can't. Get some debates going on in there. Check out the other comments, respond to them as always. And we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.